Hi, I'm Joanne. Today we're going to practice implementing 4 data collection procedures. In ABA, we strive to track information on how a person behaves or acts in different situations based on stimuli in their environment. A good definition of stimuli, according to Cooper, Heron, and Howard, is energy change that affects the person through his receptor cells. We all have internal systems that detect changes inside and outside our bodies. External stimuli are things that affect our senses like smell, touch, taste. And you can think of stimuli as something that motivates or triggers a person to do something. Data collection is the foundation for all decisions we make in ABA, from making treatment packages and programs that will help our members, all the way to determining when we stop treatment. Data collection is often imprecise and subjective. This is information we use and present as facts. For this reason, we must be very careful. We must observe behavior very carefully and systematically, so that if someone else were to observe the same behavior, they would get the same or similar results. We have advanced methods for collecting data to uncover time patterns, behavior duration, or how long it actually takes for the behavior to begin. We're not going to get into those advanced methods. However, the following training activities will teach you about 4 very basic and important methods, and they're easy to use. In fact, we teach many parents to use them. The first one is frequency data collection. Frequency means we count the number of times a behavior occurs within a specific time period. A common method used is tally marks, and typically the period we're observing is in the matter of seconds or minutes. When do we use frequency data collection method? Typically, we measure behaviors that have a distinct beginning and end. In other words, if a child is asked questions and we want to determine how many times he answers the question correctly, we can define it as each time the teacher asks a question, the student responds correctly. That's very easy to measure, and that's where tally marks would be very appropriate. We do not use this method if the behavior is very high, at very extremely high rates. In other words, we can't determine when the beginning and end is. It's just impossible to track that. So frequency data would not be the way we would collect data for that type of behavior. There are 3 steps to using frequency data collection. First, we define the behavior very clearly so anyone can track it correctly. This is very important. Be sure to determine its distinct beginning and end. Secondly, make tally marks for each occurrence of the behavior. And lastly, total the number of occurrences at the end of the observation period. It's that simple. Now, are you ready to help me collect frequency data? There's a young boy, he's 12 years old, with autism and Down syndrome, and he has a behavior where he slams together 2 cars. And as you can imagine, it's very destructive. He does a lot of property destruction in the home. It's very disruptive for his family if they're trying to watch TV. And in many cases, if a loved one's resting in the living room, they can't do so. It's very upsetting to them. So we are going to observe his behavior and count how many times he slams, he bangs 2 cars together. Exclusions of this behavior would be anytime he hits something else, he throws the car down, or hits the car once by itself. So you got it? We have a distinct beginning and end. Every time he takes 2 cars and slams them together.
Yank Lieutenant, it's coming after you.
What for?
Shooting last night.
But that was self-defense. They shot first.
Not the way Jesse Hayden's telling it. He sworn that you 2 shot first.
Lieutenant's on his way out now. You 2 better get.
You could join the drive to the Mexico border.
lucky feet. Thought I'd lost that.
Toss. Can't you stay where I stay? You win. What about the lieutenant and his boys? Chance they might stay with the cattle driver?
That's a good chance.
What if they don't? The law around that lieutenant might take you very seriously. Sorry.
How did you do? Did you get 41 instances where he slammed both cars together? Great job. Let's get ready for the next data collection procedure.